The first rule of wealth and power is simple: never confuse emotion with strategy. The broke act from impulse. The rich act from design. Emotion is a storm, loud, dramatic, and temporary, while strategy is the tide, silent yet unstoppable. Those who live by emotion chase pleasure, comfort, and approval. They spend to feel significant, to look successful, and to silence the small voice inside that whispers they are not in control. The strategic mind, however, does not seek to feel good. It seeks to win. The difference between the two is not luck, not education, but discipline of mind. The emotional man looks at a luxury car and sees status. The strategic man looks at the same car and sees depreciation. The emotional man spends his paycheck to appear powerful. The strategic man uses his paycheck to buy leverage. Emotion says, "I deserve this." Strategy says, "I will deserve much more later." Emotion is the language of the weak, for it needs validation. Strategy is the language of the powerful, for it needs results. The poor spend to be seen. The rich invest to be remembered. In the war for wealth, emotion is a traitor. It blinds judgment, manipulates logic, and sells dreams that collapse under reality. The poor fall in love with fantasy. They buy the illusion of progress rather than its substance. They want quick returns, viral success, overnight fame. The strategic mind moves differently. It studies weights, observes patterns, and strikes when the odds are unbalanced in its favor. It does not need applause. It needs advantage. Power grows not from emotion but from precision, and precision requires emotional detachment. When emotion rules, money evaporates. The man who cannot control his excitement is easy to deceive. The woman who cannot control her fear is easy to manipulate. The one who cannot control anger becomes predictable. Markets, bosses, and opportunists all feed on these weaknesses. Every advertisement, every influencer, every manipulator knows the same truth. Emotion sells. They whisper urgency, scarcity, and desire because they know most minds are slaves to impulse. The rich know this game, and they play the opposite side. They sell emotion and buy logic. To escape poverty, one must kill emotional decision-making. It does not mean becoming cold. It means becoming calculated. Emotion is to be used, not obeyed. Feelings are tools, not masters. You may smile to disarm, cry to manipulate, rage to intimidate. But never let any of these control your direction. The masses think emotion is authenticity. It is not. Authenticity without control is exposure. The powerful show only what benefits them. They do not reveal what can be used against them. The emotional poor person reacts to everything: news, gossip, trends, opinions. They are pulled by every external force because they have no internal compass. Their energy is scattered, their attention divided, their actions inconsistent. Meanwhile, the strategic individual watches the chaos from a distance, studying how others destroy themselves through emotion. Every market crash, every scandal, every mistake by a rival provides opportunity for those who stay calm. Patience is the weapon of those who master emotion. Emotion is expensive. It costs time, reputation, and fortune. Every outburst, every unnecessary purchase, every emotional decision adds weight to your chains. The rich remain light because they are not driven by what they feel in the moment, but by what they have planned for decades. They understand that emotion must serve strategy, not sabotage it. When the crowd panics, they buy. When the crowd celebrates, they sell. When the crowd seeks comfort, they seek control. You stay broke because you confuse movement with progress. You feel busy, you feel passionate, you feel inspired, but feelings do not compound, strategy does. Emotion demands satisfaction now. Strategy delays it for something greater. The rich understand the mathematics of patience. Every dollar, every hour, every decision is measured. They are architects of advantage, while the poor are victims of impulse. Emotion makes you predictable. Strategy makes you dangerous. The man who cannot be provoked cannot be controlled. The one who cannot be seduced cannot be deceived. The one who cannot be flattered cannot be exploited. Every rich and powerful figure learns to wear a mask. Calm on the surface, calculating beneath. Emotion is allowed only when it creates influence. Even kindness, when used strategically, becomes a form of control. The poor give kindness to be liked. The powerful give it to be owed. To win in the real game, you must understand that the world rewards control, not sincerity. The market does not care how much you hope, how hard you try, or how much you feel you deserve. It responds to precision, timing, and execution. Those who act strategically create their own luck. Emotion waits for fortune to smile. Strategy forces it to obey. The difference between those who stay broke and those who get rich is not talent. It is control over emotion. The poor chase excitement. The rich chase efficiency. The poor buy pleasure. The rich buy time. The poor live in reaction. The rich live in design. The reason most will never escape their condition is that they cannot endure the silence of patience. They cannot live without emotional validation. They need the world to notice, to approve, to applaud. The powerful do not need applause. They need obedience. They use emotion only when it buys influence. Every smile, every silence, every promise is measured. They understand that to dominate wealth, one must first dominate oneself. Those ruled by emotion serve those who are ruled by strategy. Those who seek comfort serve those who seek control. Those who crave recognition serve those who understand restraint. Dependence is the invisible chain that keeps most people enslaved while they believe they are free. It is not always the dependence of hunger or need. Sometimes it is the dependence on approval, on validation, on the comfort of being told what to do. The poor and powerless build their lives around others' systems, others' mercy, and others' permission. The rich and powerful understand that every form of dependence is a slow death. The one who must ask cannot command. The one who must wait cannot lead. To control your life, you must cut the strings that tie your survival to another's will. Dependence weakens the instinct to create. When you rely on someone else's favor, paycheck, or opportunity, your strength dulls. You stop thinking like a hunter and start thinking like prey. You wait to be fed, rewarded, noticed. That waiting becomes your identity. Dependence is seductive because it feels safe. You believe that someone else's power protects you, but that protection is a cage. Comfort is the most efficient form of control. The master who feeds you also owns you, and he will keep you satisfied enough that you forget you're trapped. The powerful avoid dependence by building leverage. Leverage is the antidote to dependence. It means that others need you more than you need them. It is the quiet force that shifts negotiations, opens doors, and bends outcomes. The poor seek security in others. The rich create security through leverage. Every rich man knows that money, skill, and influence must be structured in a way that no one can easily remove his foundation. You cannot be free if someone else decides your income, your reputation, or your future. Dependence makes you predictable. The one who depends can be threatened, manipulated, or replaced. The powerful keep options open. They cultivate multiple paths, multiple incomes, multiple alliances. Dependence is not only financial, it is emotional, social, and intellectual. The person who depends on praise will betray truth to gain approval. The one who depends on belonging will obey the group, even when the group walks toward ruin. The one who depends on comfort will never risk enough to rise. Independence requires the courage to lose short-term security for long-term control. The dependent always asks for permission. They wait for conditions to be perfect. They fear rejection because rejection cuts off their supply. But the independent mind acts. It takes what it needs or builds it. The difference is not morality, it is power. In a world built on hierarchy, dependence defines position. Those who depend are servants. Those who are dependent on are masters. The poor pray for opportunities. The rich create them. The poor wait for a system to reward them. The rich build systems that reward themselves. Dependence also breeds obedience disguised as gratitude. Many are trained from childhood to equate dependence with loyalty. They are told to be thankful for what they receive, to stay humble, to not bite the hand that feeds them. This conditioning keeps them docile. The powerful show gratitude strategically, never emotionally. They know that true loyalty must be earned through respect, not fear or obligation. Dependence born from gratitude is still dependence. It only looks prettier. To be truly free, you must give gratitude without submission. The world is designed to make you dependent. Systems of debt, entertainment, and comfort are built to ensure that you never think beyond survival. You are told to work hard, but not to own, to dream but not to act, to be patient but not to question. Dependence thrives on obedience, and obedience is maintained through distraction. Those who rise see through this design. They refuse to play the game by its rules. They study how the system works, learn its weaknesses, and eventually manipulate it to their advantage. The rich borrow from banks. The poor owe them. The rich use laws to protect themselves. The poor obey them blindly. The rich hire experts. The poor worship them. This is the quiet truth of dependence. It sustains hierarchies without visible chains. To escape, one must first recognize where dependence hides. It hides in the comfort of a salary, in the safety of routines, in the validation of others. It hides in the need to be liked, to be accepted, to be told what is right. Each dependence gives someone else a piece of control over your life. You cannot rise until you reclaim those pieces. It may mean rejecting comfort, losing approval, or walking alone. Independence demands sacrifice, and most people are too weak to pay the price. They prefer the illusion of security over the chaos of freedom. Dependence drains courage. When you rely on others for stability, fear becomes your compass. Every decision is filtered through the question, what will they think? What if they leave? What if I lose? The powerful never ask such questions because they have built themselves into their own foundation. They do not need permission to act because their survival does not depend on anyone's consent. Their value is self-created and therefore cannot be easily taken. Even alliances must be built from strength, not dependence. To connect with others powerfully, you must bring something to the table that cannot be ignored. Those who bring nothing but need will always be treated as tools, not equals. True partnership exists only between those who can walk away and still stand. Dependence destroys negotiation. Independence creates leverage. This is why the rich can speak with confidence, and the poor must speak with caution. Power belongs to those who can afford to offend. Dependence is a quiet poison. It numbs ambition, softens the will, and convinces you that survival is success. It teaches you to compromise before you've even begun to fight. Every dependent person becomes a pawn in another's strategy. You cannot lead while kneeling. You cannot command while begging. You cannot build empires from within cages. Freedom is not granted. It is taken by those willing to live without the illusion of safety. Those who remain dependent may live comfortably, but they will never live powerfully. Power does not belong to those who are right, but to those who are believed. The world does not reward truth. It rewards presentation. Reality is shaped by how others see you, not necessarily by what you are. Perception is the true currency of influence. The weak spend their time trying to prove themselves right, while the powerful spend their time shaping how they are seen. To control perception is to control reaction. Once people see you in a certain light, they will bend reality to fit that image. This is how empires are built, not by truth, but by belief. The poor and powerless think that being good or talented is enough. They live by the illusion that merit alone commands respect. They fail to see that perception often outruns truth by miles. People do not see effort, they see confidence. They do not respect struggle. They respect the image of certainty. The one who appears to have power often gains it before even earning it. The world follows symbols, not substance. Appear disciplined, and people will assume you are wise. Appear confident, and they will assume you are capable. Appear important, and they will treat you as such. This is not deception. It is strategy. The art of perception lies in understanding how others think. People do not seek truth. They seek stories that make them feel safe, inspired, or connected. The powerful feed these stories carefully, crafting their image to fit what others need to believe. To appear humble gains trust. To appear ruthless commands fear. To appear successful inspires loyalty. The powerful wear masks not to hide, but to rule. The poor reveal too much of themselves and call it authenticity, unaware that every truth exposed becomes a weapon against them. Control of perception begins with silence. The more you speak, the more people can define you. The rich and powerful speak less because their silence creates mystery. Mystery breeds curiosity, and curiosity breeds respect. Those who constantly explain themselves lose their aura. The weak justify, the strong imply. The poor argue for recognition. The powerful position themselves to be recognized without asking. The world watches for signals of dominance, posture, tone, presence, and the one who controls these signals controls attention. Perception is power because it shapes expectation. Once people expect greatness from you, they subconsciously justify your success. Once they expect weakness, they subconsciously doubt your potential, control expectation, and you manipulate outcomes. The powerful engineer their surroundings to reinforce their image, their environment, their clothing, their associations, even the way they move. Every detail tells a story. The poor ignore these subtleties and wonder why their competence is invisible. They do not realize that the world judges in seconds, and those seconds decide who gets opportunities and who is forgotten. To master perception, one must understand duality, the difference between appearance and reality. Appear kind, but never be knave. Appear humble, but never be submissive. Appear loyal, but always keep autonomy. The powerful live in layers. They show what others expect to see, while concealing what must remain hidden. To reveal your true motives is to give others the power to predict you. To be unpredictable is to be untouchable. The poor seek transparency because they confuse honesty with virtue. The wise seek ambiguity because they understand that clarity removes leverage. Perception also controls emotion. If people believe you are strong, they treat you differently. They hesitate to confront you. They overvalue your opinion. They justify your dominance. The same idea, spoken by someone with a weak image, will be dismissed. Spoken by someone with authority, it becomes gospel. The content is irrelevant. Perception decides its worth. Power is not only what you hold, but what others believe you hold. The rich understand this instinctively. They market not their reality, but their aura. To control perception, one must also master timing. Appear at the right moment and vanish at the right moment. When you are too available, you lose value. When you appear selectively, your presence becomes a privilege. The poor chase attention. The powerful make attention chase them. Every absence adds to their myth. Every reappearance renews their authority. This balance creates momentum, a rhythm that keeps others guessing. Predictability kills mystery, and mystery sustains power. Perception is built through consistency. Even deception requires discipline. Every action must align with the image you wish to project. The one who acts powerful only when convenient will be exposed. Power must appear effortless, natural, inevitable. The moment you are seen trying to appear powerful, you lose the illusion. True control comes when others cannot distinguish where the act ends and the truth begins. The greatest manipulators of perception are those who become their masks. They live their roles so completely that the world forgets it was ever a performance. The poor often say they do not care what others think. This is a comforting lie. Every system of wealth, authority, and reputation depends on perception. Money flows toward trust, influence flows toward reputation, and reputation flows toward image. To ignore perception is to surrender control. Even silence communicates something. Every gesture, every decision, every association either strengthens or weakens the image you project. You cannot escape perception. You can only command it, or be commanded by it. The powerful study perception like a weapon. They learn how to appear approachable while being untouchable. They understand that fear and admiration are two sides of the same coin. Both can serve control if used correctly. They know that truth, in its raw form, is too heavy for most minds. So they give the world a version of truth it can handle. A version that keeps them in power. This is not deception in the moral sense. It is survival in a world where visibility determines dominance. Perception is also armor. When people believe in your strength, they hesitate to test it. When they believe in your intelligence, they hesitate to challenge it. Perception deters conflict before it begins. The poor expose weakness by seeking sympathy. The powerful conceal weakness by projecting composure. Even in loss, they manage appearance. They turn failure into a lesson, defeat into mystery, and retreat into strategy. Control perception long enough, and even your downfall becomes legend. The game of wealth and power is not about who you truly are, but about who you can convince the world you are. Those who master this understanding rise faster, stay longer, and fall softer. The world does not operate on fairness, it operates on narratives. Control the narrative, and you control the world's reaction to you. Perception shapes destiny more than truth ever could. Power, wealth, and control belong not to those who wait for fairness, but to those who understand the game beneath appearances. The weak seek comfort, the strong seek clarity. Emotion blinds, dependence binds, and perception defines. The ones who remain poor are not cursed. They are conditioned to react instead of calculate, to obey instead of create, to reveal instead of conceal. The rich and powerful operate by different laws, not the laws written in books, but those written in human nature. To rise, one must strip away the illusions that keep the masses docile. Do not chase validation, chase leverage. Do not seek approval, seek autonomy. Do not live for emotion, live for strategy. Build your life as a fortress, not a cage. Use emotion as a weapon, dependence as a lesson, and perception as armor. Power is never given. It is constructed through discipline, deception, and design. You will remain broke if you live by feeling, if you cling to comfort, if you expose your truth before it has power. The path to wealth is not paved with sincerity, but with calculation. Control your mind, and you control your fortune. Control your image, and you control your world. In the quiet space between impulse and decision, between weakness and restraint, lies the thin line that separates those who serve from those who rule.